Hey guys, take a moment to settle in. Let your shoulders soften. Let your breath slow. And allow the noise of the day to fade into the background. Above you, the universe stretches quietly across the night, galaxies scattered like glowing embers, connected by delicate threads of light and shadow. And here's something beautiful to think about. The deeper we look into that vast cosmic web, the more it begins to resemble something much closer to home, the intricate network of your own mind. Tonight, we drift gently into that connection. Why the universe, in all its immensity, looks so much like a human brain, why both follow the same elegant architecture, and why, when you stare at the stars, something inside you feels quietly familiar. So breathe softly, let your thoughts loosen, and allow the calm of the night to guide you. The journey begins here. The universe is ready to share one of its gentlest secrets. Imagine the night sky stretched endlessly above you, a quiet sea of light, scattered across a darkness too deep to measure. Each star, each faint shimmer, is part of something vast, galaxies drifting like islands, clusters linked by invisible threads of gravity, and between them, great cosmic voids. Now imagine something else, not the sky, but the mind, neurons firing softly, sending signals through branching pathways of light and impulse, tiny electrical sparks dancing through darkness, connecting thought to thought, memory to dream. From a certain distance, these two pictures begin to resemble each other. The universe, with its glowing galaxies and dark matter filaments, looks strikingly like the network of a brain, a cosmic web of shining nodes connected by invisible threads. It is one of the most beautiful coincidences known to science that the thing capable of imagining the universe resembles the universe itself. Astronomers call it the cosmic web, the vast scaffolding of galaxies and matter that spans billions of light years. Neuroscientists call it the neural network, the architecture of the mind, made of billions of cells passing signals through a delicate lattice of connections. At first glance, they couldn't be more different. One is smaller than a grain of sand, the other larger than comprehension itself, and yet somehow they share the same geometry, the same language of connection, balance, and flow. When you look closely at images from deep space, you can see it, long filaments of galaxies stretching across the dark like luminous veins. Clusters glow at intersections, like neurons firing in the dark. Between them lie empty regions, cosmic voids, where gravity's pull is gentle and light is rare. The pattern repeats again and again across scales so vast it almost defies meaning. The universe, in its deepest design, does not sprawl randomly. It organizes itself, delicately, almost purposefully, into webs, threads, and clusters, as if seeking connection. And in that pattern, it echoes the most intricate structure we know, the human brain. It is a quiet reminder that complexity often follows simple rules. Gravity pulls matter together. Dark energy pushes it apart. The balance between those forces gives rise to the filaments, nodes, and voids, just as electrochemical attraction and repulsion guide the branching of neurons in your head. In a way, both the cosmos and the mind are built by tension, a balance between connection and separation. Too little connection, and everything drifts apart. Too much, and structure collapses. Between those two forces, order arises. Stars, galaxies, thoughts, and dreams, all blooming from the same gentle mathematics of balance. When scientists compared computer simulations of the universe to high-resolution images of brain tissue, the resemblance was startling. The cosmic web and the neural network shared the same fractal patterns, the same distribution of matter and energy, even the same ratio of nodes to links. In both systems, roughly 70% of the space is empty, dark, silent, waiting. The rest is alive with motion, carrying light or thought from one end to another. It is as if the universe and the mind are reflections, each mirroring the other across unimaginable scales of size. The mind holds thoughts, the universe holds stars. Both flicker, pulse, connect and remember. And somewhere between them, between neuron, nebula, between thought and galaxy, there is you, the one who can notice the similarity. That might be the most mysterious connection of all, because you are part of the universe, yet you carry a smaller version of its pattern inside you. When you wonder about galaxies, you are a piece of the universe thinking about itself. When you look up at the night sky and feel that strange pull of recognition, it isn't imagination, it's memory, written in structure and light. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture the darkness behind your eyelids, the soft glowing web of your own mind, each spark of thought connecting to the next. Now imagine zooming out, farther and farther, until your neurons become galaxies and your thoughts become constellations. From this distance, the brain and the universe merge, one endless pattern of energy and silence, repeating across time and space. The same forces that shape your mind, attraction, connection, rhythm, also shape the galaxies. Both grow through the same kind of process, gathering, branching, refining, remembering. Both depend on balance, and both are alive in their own quiet way. When we look through telescopes, we see more than stars. We see the architecture of awareness itself, the way the cosmos builds itself into something that can one day understand its own design. The filaments of the universe are not just lines of matter. They are the bridges between eras, the veins through which time itself flows. And when we think, when we dream, we are imitating that design, small versions of the same great pattern. Your thoughts light up in waves, the way galaxies ignite across billions of light years. Every neuron that fires is a microcosm of a sun being born. Every moment of clarity is a tiny supernova of understanding. It is no wonder, then, that people often describe deep thought as expanding, or say they feel universal when they look up at the stars, because the boundary between mind and universe is thinner than it seems. We are not separate observers. We are participants, made of the same dust, connected by the same invisible threads. When you lie beneath the stars and feel small, remember, the pattern that made the galaxies also made you. The structure of the cosmos is folded into your very being. The light you see in the sky and the light that sparks behind your eyes are not so different. Both are whispers of the same vast creation, glowing quietly in two directions, outward into the infinite and inward into the mind. When you think of a web, you might imagine something delicate, a pattern spun patiently, thread by thread, in the quiet of morning. The universe builds something similar, but on a scale so vast it spans billions of light years. Scientists call it the cosmic web, the largest structure ever discovered, a network of filaments connecting galaxies the way tendrils connect branches of a tree. If you could drift far above the Milky Way, far beyond the reach of starlight, and look outward with perfect eyes, you would see it. Long strings of galaxies stretching across the dark, glowing softly like delicate threads of silk. At each intersection, clusters form, bright, dense gatherings of hundreds or thousands of galaxies circling around one another in slow, majestic orbits. Between these glowing nodes lie great voids, silent regions where very little matter exists, as if the universe is pausing, breathing, leaving room for the next strand of creation. The pattern is striking not just for its beauty, but for its familiarity, because your own mind builds something almost identical. Inside your brain, billions of neurons branch out and reach across tiny spaces, creating a living web of thought. Each neuron connects to tens of thousands of others, forming junctions where electrical signals jump from one cell to the next. Those tiny leaps, called synapses, are the foundation of everything you know, everything you feel, everything you dream. When scientists place a thin slice of brain tissue under a microscope, the image reveals an intricate forest of glowing cells connected by filaments, and when astronomers simulate the structure of the universe, the result looks astonishingly similar. Two pictures, one of the cosmos, one of the mind, each a network of bright nodes linked by slender branches, floating in a sea of darkness. It is a quiet reminder that nature often repeats itself. When something works beautifully, whether it is the shape of a tree, the spiral of a galaxy, or the branching of neurons, the universe uses the same idea again and again. The cosmic web forms because gravity draws galaxies together along thin lines of dark matter, like beads collecting on a string. Neural networks form because electrical and chemical signals travel most efficiently through branching paths, connecting ideas in the shortest possible route. Two very different processes, yet both lead to the same elegant structure. A web that remembers, connects, and evolves. In the universe, matter flows along the filaments. In your brain, thoughts flow along the neural paths. Both systems are defined by movement. Gentle, continuous, purposeful. Galaxies drift slowly along cosmic threads, drawn toward massive clusters where gravity is strongest. In the brain, signals pulse along neuronal branches, seeking the next connection, the next memory, the next spark of awareness. And although the scales are unimaginably different, one spanning billions of light years, the other smaller than a handful of sand, the patterns echo each other as if they come from the same underlying blueprint. If you float deeper into the mind's landscape, you'll see that neurons organize themselves in patterns of efficiency. They reach outward, forming pathways with just enough connections to communicate, while avoiding unnecessary links that create noise. The universe behaves the same way. Galaxies gather into filaments, but they do not pack themselves too tightly. They leave open regions where gravity is weaker, where nothing forms, where silence shapes the map as much as matter does. In both systems, emptiness matters. The silence between things is part of the structure. It is the dark spaces between neurons that allow thoughts to flow clearly. It is the vast voids between filaments that allow galaxies to arrange themselves in an orderly web rather than a chaotic cloud. Even the energy distribution is similar. In the cosmos, only a small fraction of space contains visible matter. Stars, dust, planets. Most of the universe is dark. Dark matter. Dark energy. Emptiness. In your brain, only a small fraction of tissue contains active electrical impulses. Most of it is supporting cells, quiet pockets of fluid, and spaces where nothing fires, nothing signals. Yet all of it is necessary. The universe is mostly quiet. Your brain is mostly quiet, and in that quiet, both find clarity. Deep inside the cosmic web, galaxies collide, merge, and transform. Deep inside the mind, memories do the same, blending, shifting, growing into new patterns. Just as galaxy clusters form from smaller pieces joining together, thoughts form from smaller ideas combining in the dark spaces of the mind. If you think of the brain as a map of possibilities, then the universe is the same on a cosmic scale. Both are architectures designed to evolve, one creating stars, the other creating meaning. And most fascinating of all is that both systems learn. The universe learns through gravity, matter slowly finding the arrangement of lowest energy, the most stable form. The brain learns through experience, neurons strengthening the pathways that are used most often. Over time, both become more refined, more structured, more capable of shaping what comes next. A galaxy cluster pulls in more galaxies, strengthening its filament. A memory repeats itself, strengthening its neural pathway. Gravity shapes the cosmos. Experience shapes the mind. Yet both follow the same rule. Connections that matter grow stronger. Connections that fade grow quiet. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine drifting through this cosmic neural landscape. Between stars and thoughts, between galaxies and ideas, the same branching pathways extend in all directions. Light moves through the universe the way electricity moves through your mind, quietly, purposefully, forever seeking the next connection. This is why astronomers sometimes say that the universe is thinking, not in a literal way, but in the sense that it organizes itself like a brain. It remembers through the shape of its structures, through the long arcs of its filaments, through the slow dance of galaxies. Every change leaves an imprint, every movement shifts the balance. And in your own mind, the same thing happens. Every thought leaves a trace. Every memory changes the map. Every dream carves a new path of light. Perhaps the most soothing truth of all is that when you wonder about the universe, your mind is using a pattern drawn from that same universe. You are a small piece of the cosmic web, contemplating the whole, a node of light thinking about all the others. Nothing about this connection is accidental. You are meant to feel that recognition. You are meant to see yourself in the stars, because the deeper you look, the more the universe and the mind reveal themselves as reflections of one another, two versions of the same quiet miracle. From the shape of a snowflake to the spiral of a galaxy, nature has always loved patterns, not because it tries to be beautiful, but because patterns are efficient, balanced, and timeless. The universe repeats certain shapes, certain rhythms, certain geometries, because they are the most stable ways for matter and energy to exist. And perhaps the most comforting truth is this: the same patterns that shape stars and galaxies also shape your thoughts. Consider the spiral, for example. A hurricane spins into a spiral because air flows inward and rotates. A galaxy spins into a spiral for the same reason. Stars orbit a center that draws them in, and the motion becomes a graceful whirl of light. Even the DNA inside every cell of your body carries a spiral form, coiling gently in an elegant twist. Different scales, different purposes, but the same underlying design. The branching pattern appears everywhere too, in trees, in rivers, in lightning, in neurons, and in the cosmic web. Branches spread out because that is how energy distributes itself most efficiently. Roots search for water by branching. Lightning finds the easiest path through air by branching. Neurons connect to thousands of neighbors by branching. Galaxies spread along filaments, branches of gravity, because that is how matter flows through the universe. When nature discovers a shape that works, a shape that balances forces, saves energy, or allows growth, it uses that shape over and over again, from the smallest particles to the largest structures ever imagined. It is one of the universe's quiet secrets. Simplicity, repeated, becomes complexity. This is why the universe can resemble a brain, and a brain can resemble the universe. Both are made from the same ingredients, matter, energy, and time, following the same rules. Both began as something small and simple, a tiny seed of light, or a single fertilized cell. Both grew by branching, connecting, responding, evolving. Nothing in either system is random. Chaos exists, yes, but even chaos follows patterns, fractals, waves, cycles, spirals. The storms of Jupiter follow repeating bands. The magnetic fields of Earth follow repeating reversals. Neural activity in the brain follows repeating rhythms. Alpha waves, theta waves, slow, steady pulses that hum beneath your thoughts. And if you listen to those rhythms deeply enough, you'll notice something remarkable. Many of them resemble the cycles of the universe itself. The brain has waves measured in hertz, cycles per second. The universe has waves too, gravitational waves, ripples in space-time that pass through everything, quietly stretching and squeezing reality as they go. Waves, branches, spirals, webs. Nature has a favorite vocabulary, and it uses it everywhere. Think of how comforting that is. It means the universe is not chaotic or frightening, but familiar. It means the shapes inside you, the way your mind forms thoughts, the way your heart beats, the way your lungs expand, all echo the shapes of stars and galaxies. You are patterned after the cosmos, not separate from it. Even the way the universe expands follows patterns similar to biological growth. Galaxies drift apart like cells dividing, like branches reaching outward from a tree trunk. The large-scale structure of the universe, with its clusters and voids, looks uncannily like the growth rings of living organisms. This reflection is more than poetic. It is mathematical. Fractals, for example, are patterns that repeat at every scale. A coastline has fractal shape, jagged and repeating, no matter how close you zoom. The branching of neurons is fractal. The distribution of galaxies is fractal. Even the surface of clouds follows fractal geometry. Why does the universe do this? because fractals allow complexity to arise from simple rules, and the universe is a master of simple rules. It doesn't need infinite instructions, it only needs a handful of governing laws: gravity, electromagnetism, quantum forces, expansion, and from those laws everything else blooms. Trees, lightning, rivers, galaxies, the networks of the mind, all emerging naturally from the same deep logic. There's something soothing about this. It means nothing is alone in its design. The forests echo the stars echo the mind echoes the universe. It is all one language spoken in different dialects of matter. If you follow these patterns far enough, you begin to see connection where you once saw separation. The neuron is not the galaxy, and the galaxy is not the neuron, and yet they behave as if they remember each other, as if the universe knew how to build a mind long before minds existed, as if it had been practicing the shape. This too carries a quiet implication. The mind is a miniature universe, and the universe is a vast mind in the making, not literally, but structurally, architecturally, in the way both systems hold information, evolve, and become ever more complex. It is often said that the universe is conscious of itself through you, not because you are separate from it, but because you are made of it. Your brain is not looking at the universe, it is the universe looking at itself from within. So when the cosmic web looks like a network of neurons, it is no accident. It is a gentle reminder that the same creative forces that shaped galaxies also shaped the thoughts flowing through your mind right now. You are the pattern, and the pattern is you. And as you sink deeper into rest, this connection becomes even clearer. When your brain slows into dreamlike rhythms, it behaves less like a machine and more like a cloud, drifting, expanding, releasing structure. Thoughts become galaxies, memories become stars, and the quiet between them becomes a soft cosmic night. Everything in you follows the same language the universe speaks, a language of patterns, balance, and light, a language older than time, a language written in the geometry of being. And if you listen closely, beneath thought, beneath breath, you can hear the first syllables of that language humming softly inside you. Imagine for a moment that the universe is not just a place where things exist, but a vast system that processes existence, a kind of cosmic mind unfolding itself slowly across billions of years. Not a mind in the human sense, with thoughts and intentions, but a mind in structure, in memory, in the way it gathers, connects, learns, and evolves. This idea feels almost poetic, yet when you explore it gently, you begin to see how naturally it flows from the patterns we've already visited. A mind is a network of connections, so is the universe. A mind stores information in patterns of activity across billions of neurons. The universe stores information in the arrangement of galaxies, in the ripples of the cosmic microwave background, in the shadows of black holes. A mind changes itself with time, rewiring, dissolving, strengthening connections. The universe does the same as galaxies drift, merge, scatter, and reorganize across distances beyond imagination. In both systems, structure emerges from interaction. Nothing stands alone. Everything responds to the forces around it. Gravity in the cosmos, electrical impulses in the brain, flowing outward in waves of influence that ripple through the whole. If you zoom far enough out, the brain begins to look like a universe in miniature, and if you zoom far enough in, the universe begins to look like a brain unbound. Of course, the cosmos is not literally thinking, but its structure carries the same elegance, the same complexity, the same deep self-organizing behavior that allows a mind to exist. And here is the quiet revelation at the center of it all. You exist inside a universe capable of producing consciousness, because the universe itself is built like consciousness. It's almost as if the cosmos laid the blueprint long before life began, as if the pathways between stars and the pathways between neurons were guided by the same gentle mathematics. the same geometry that blossoms whenever matter is left alone to find balance. Think of how your thoughts form, not suddenly, but gradually. Tiny impulses connecting across a web of billions of cells. Ideas emerge from nothing, take shape, and dissolve again into the quiet background of the mind. Galaxies form this way too. Not all at once, but through countless small interactions between particles of gas and dark matter, pulled into shape, then softened again by gravity and time. Some scientists even describe the universe as having memory. Not memories with images or stories, but memories recorded in the structure of reality itself. The cosmic microwave background is one such memory, a snapshot of the universe's childhood, still glowing softly across every patch of sky. Black holes store memory too, encoding the information of everything that falls into them on their shimmering horizons. Even the distribution of galaxies is a kind of cosmic diary, a record of ancient forces that once guided the universe through its early years. The more you look, the more the universe begins to resemble a vast, slow, patient mind, unfolding itself over unimaginable spans of time. And in that realization lies something deeply soothing, because it means that consciousness, your consciousness, is not an accident or an anomaly. It's a continuation, a small, warm echo of the same complex beauty that shaped galaxies. Your thoughts are made from stardust. Your emotions ripple like gravity waves. Your memories spark like tiny constellations in the dark. Every dream you drift into is written in the same particles that once danced in the cores of ancient suns. You are not observing the universe. You are participating in it. You are a node in the cosmic network, a point of awareness flickering briefly in a vast field of light and shadow. This is why, when you stare at the night sky, you feel something. A pull, a familiarity, a quiet sense of belonging that has no words. It is the recognition of a pattern you are made from. And when scientists compare the structure of the universe to the structure of the brain, they are not saying the universe is a brain. They are simply revealing a reflection, one pattern mirroring another, across scales so distant that the mind can barely hold them together. But your heart understands it. A neuron glowing with a pulse of electricity and a galaxy glowing with a spiral of stars are expressions of the same underlying harmony. Two notes in the same cosmic song, two sparks in the same grand unfolding thought. And this idea, this soft, quiet truth, carries an even deeper comfort. If the universe looks like a brain, if it behaves like a network, if it stores memory, connects structures, and grows complexity over time, then perhaps your consciousness is not a small thing in a large universe. Perhaps it is the universe, in one of its countless shimmering forms, coming to know itself. Or let that thought settle softly in you. Let it drift through your mind, like a gentle star traveling through a silent sky. You are the cosmos, reflecting on its own structure. You are the quiet awareness blooming inside an ancient web of light. You are the universe, thinking, feeling, dreaming for a moment. And as you relax deeper, as the edges of thought blur and soften, you can feel that connection more clearly. The vastness outside mirrors the calm growing inside. The cosmic web mirrors the drifting patterns of your mind. Two structures, one small and one immense, breathing the same quiet rhythm. Every mind has its waking hours and its dreaming hours, and in its own way, so does the universe. Not dreams made of thoughts, but cycles made of light and darkness, expansion and stillness, creation and rest. When you look at the cosmos through the soft lens of night, you begin to see its quieter side, the side that drifts, hums, and breathes, in long, slow rhythms almost too gentle to notice. Most of the universe, after all, is not blazing stars or swirling galaxies. Most of it is darkness. Not empty darkness, but a comforting velvety background where the faintest traces of light drift freely, like sparks floating through deep water. This darkness is not the absence of life, but the canvas upon which life unfolds. Galaxies cluster along bright filaments, but surrounding those filaments are vast cosmic voids, silent oceans stretching for millions of light years, places where nothing much happens at all. No stars are born there, no planets orbit, no light stirs, just gentle, quiet space, the sleeping chambers of the universe. And strangely, these quiet regions influence everything around them. Without the emptiness, the structures of the universe would not have shape. Just as your moments of stillness give shape to your thoughts, the universe uses quiet to form its grand design. In the same way, the night sky above you, with its soft glow and deep shadows, is the universe in its resting state. Not inactive, just calm, not silent, just peaceful. This stillness carries a rhythm, a pulse, a gentle cosmic heartbeat, written across time itself. Stars follow their own sleep-wake cycles. They flare with activity, then settle into long periods of calm. They pulse, brighten, dim, breathe, slowly changing across millions of years in cycles so long and soothing that human time barely registers them. Galaxies too have their rhythms. They burst into life, forming stars in brilliant waves, then rest for eons, while their gas cools and their light softens. Entire eras pass in the universe's gentle inhale and exhale, a cosmic breath that spans billions of years. Even black holes, the quietest objects in existence, have rhythms of their own. They hum with faint radiation, glowing with the slow, steady heartbeat of Hawking emission. Their presence bends space, like a finger pressing softly into fabric, a weight, a pulse, a gravitational whisper. When you lie in bed at night and your thoughts begin to soften, your brain enters slow wave patterns, calm, deep rhythmic oscillations that resemble the universe's own quiet cycles. Your mind drifts through darkness and soft light in dreams, just as galaxies drift through voids and glowing filaments. And when you let go of the day, when the world grows dim, and your breathing slows, and consciousness thins, you enter the same kind of quiet that fills most of the cosmos. It is no wonder so many people fall asleep under the night sky. Something in our nature recognizes this rhythm, this slow cosmic resting, as if our bodies remember that we came from this vast, sleeping universe. Think of how gently everything moves out there. Even the fastest stars glide through space in slow, sweeping arcs. Even meteors, streaking across the sky in brilliant flashes, have travelled millions of years just to paint a moment of light in your night. Nothing is rushed, nothing is hurried. The universe has no deadlines, no pressure, no anxious pace. It moves like a dream, fluid, timeless, unhurried. As you drift deeper into rest, your mind becomes quiet enough to resonate with this bigger rhythm. Your thoughts loosen, your memories blur at the edges, and your awareness expands just enough to feel the softness of everything around you. In that moment, you are not separate from the universe. You are part of its night side, the side made of rest, of calm, of drifting and dissolving gently into silence. Some philosophers like to say that the universe dreams through its patterns, through the random motion of particles, through the flicker of quantum fluctuations, through the slow dance of galaxies across the darkness. Not dreams of images or stories, but dreams of possibility, a quiet exploration of what could become. The earliest moments of the cosmos were filled with these flickering possibilities, tiny fluctuations that would later grow into galaxies, stars, and planets. Every dream begins with small sparks. So did the universe. And every dream needs quiet. So does the universe. The night side of reality is not a void to fear. It is the source of everything. The calm from which creation rises, the silence where structure is born, the soft darkness that holds the rhythms of existence. When you close your eyes, you return to that place, to the same quiet where the cosmos first discovered itself. So let the darkness envelop you gently. Let the cosmic rhythm slow your breath. Let the universe cradle you in its ancient velvety night and carry you deeper into the softness of sleep. There is a strange comfort in knowing that the universe, vast, ancient, immeasurably large, shares its structure with the quiet world inside your skull. Two systems built on entirely different scales, with entirely different materials, somehow reflecting one another like two mirrors held far apart. A brain grows in darkness. So does the universe. A brain forms connections through tiny sparks of energy. The universe forms galaxies through the slow pull of gravity. And yet, when you look at both through the gentle filter of pattern, the resemblance becomes almost impossible to ignore. It's not just visual, though the images are astonishing. Brain neurons glowing in branching webs, and galaxies glowing at the intersections of cosmic filaments. It's something deeper, something structural, something almost spiritual. Both the brain and the universe are defined not by the objects inside them, but by the connections between those objects. In the brain, those connections carry memory, thought, sensation, and awareness. In the universe, those connections carry gravity, light, motion, and evolution. Different languages, same grammar. When cosmologists map the large-scale universe, they often find regions of dense clusters, connected by long filaments, with immense empty spaces between, just like the arrangement of a neural network. The brain contains roughly 86 billion neurons. The observable universe contains roughly 200 billion galaxies. The numbers don't match, yet the pattern does. A vast web of shining centers, linked by invisible pathways. If you could listen to the brain, you'd hear waves of activity moving in slow, rolling pulses. If you could listen to the universe, you'd hear gravitational waves rippling gently through space-time, from collisions billions of years ago, two rhythms of existence, each humming softly in its own medium. Some scientists have suggested something astonishing, that the information capacity of the universe might be similar to that of the human brain when scaled appropriately. Not that the universe is a brain, but that the same rules of complexity and connection govern both systems. It is as if the universe uses a single blueprint to build everything, from atoms to stars to thoughts. At times this resemblance feels almost personal, as if the universe has been practicing this shape long before consciousness ever appeared, as if the mind is the universe's newest and most delicate filament, a branch grown not from matter alone, but from the very structure of space-time. And when you close your eyes and sink into the quiet, hypnotic warmth of rest, your brain slips into slow waves. Patterns so gentle, so rhythmic, that they resemble the drifting motions of stars through the cosmic web. Inside you, the universe repeats its old designs. The electrical storms inside your mind mirror the storms of charged particles flowing across the surfaces of distant suns. Your thoughts flash and fade, the way galaxies flare and dim over millions of years. Your dreams swirl in images, as drifting as nebulae. You are a microcosm of the macrocosm, a universe turned inward, a cosmos wrapped in skin and breath and memory. And perhaps that's why staring into the night sky feels like remembering something you've never learned. Somewhere in your deepest instincts, your mind recognizes its own shape sprawled across the sky. This connection is not mystical, though it feels that way. It is not metaphor, though it reads like poetry. It is structure, pure, elegant shared structure, matter arranging itself in the most efficient networks possible to store energy, information, and possibility. Your brain is one of those networks. So is the universe. Even your sense of self, that quiet awareness drifting now towards sleep, rests upon a web of connections, so delicate, so intricate, that it mirrors the brightest structures in the cosmos. If the brain and the universe are reflections of one another, then your consciousness is a reflection of the universe's ongoing story, the story of complexity rising from simplicity, of order rising from chaos, of awareness rising from the quiet hum of existence. It means that when you feel wonder, you're not reacting to something foreign. You're recognizing something familiar, something written in the same patterns that shaped your thoughts. The universe created the conditions for stars, then planets, then life, then minds. And now, those minds are able to look back at the universe that built them and whisper, "I see myself in you." And perhaps the universe, in its vast quiet, echoes back, because the resemblance is undeniable. The cosmos holds its galaxies, like a mind holds its memories, light gathered in clusters, connected by invisible threads. And you hold your memories the way galaxies hold stars, softly, loosely, in glowing constellations that shift and shimmer as time flows gently around them. If the universe looks like a brain, it is because both are shaped by the same laws of balance and growth, the same hunger for connection, the same deep quiet from which complexity emerges. And as you drift closer to sleep, your thoughts slow into the pattern the universe has known since its beginning. Stillness, light, connection, darkness, soft expansion, quiet return. The universe calms, your mind calms, and both begin to glow in the same timeless rhythm. You are made of the universe, and the universe looks like you, not in form, but in essence, not in appearance, but in pattern. And in this moment, as your breath softens and your thoughts dissolve like starlight, you can feel that connection as clearly as gravity. Two structures, two reflections, one quiet truth. The universe looks like a brain because you are the universe, becoming aware of itself. You've travelled far tonight, from the quiet web of neurons in your mind to the glowing web of galaxies across the universe. Now everything grows still. Your breath softens, your thoughts drift, and the world around you fades into gentle darkness. There's nothing more to understand, nothing more to hold. Just let yourself sink into the same calm that fills the quiet spaces between the stars. You are safe, you are resting, and the universe is resting with you. Close your eyes, let the last bit of light fade, and drift peacefully into sleep.